Okay, we're going to go over drawing these boxes for your project again because I'm having a lot of students struggling with that. It's really not any different than the two that we just practiced. The only difference is if you have a box that's going to go across your horizon line. So we'll cover that along with it. So the first thing that you need to do, just like with the pre-Columbian picture, guys, is to draw your horizon line. Now, if you don't want your horizon line to be in the center, it doesn't have to be. You could put it up a little higher, you could put it down a little lower. It just depends on where you want, how much sky you want, and how much ground you want. Which means you kind of need to think about what things you're going to put in your picture and how much of that you might want. Also, your horizon line doesn't have to be straight. If you want some hills, you can make hills. If you want some valleys, you can make valleys. That's up to you. But what you do need are your vanishing points. Okay, these are the basis for your whole picture, so you want to be sure that you have both of those in there. Okay, so just like our box practice, the next step is deciding where you want your box to be at. Okay, is your box going to be floating in the sky? If it is, you're going to draw that front edge of your box wherever in the sky you want it, however tall you want it to be. If you want your box to be on the ground, okay, pick a space in the ground, draw that front edge, however tall you want it to be, wherever you want it to be at. The only new box that we have is if you decide you want your box to start on the ground but be tall and crisscross over the horizon line. Okay, in which case, again, I mean, you still draw it right there, but it would cross over our horizon line. It is going to be a little different when we get to drawing it. So, with these two boxes, you're doing exactly the same thing as with our exercise. The top and the bottom are going to go to the vanishing point. That's actually going to be the same for this box too. Okay, so whichever one you choose, line up your ruler and connect it to your vanishing points. Okay, this is going to get really confusing for you because there's 3 boxes and all of their vanishing points going on. For your project, you only have to have 1 box, and you should probably only draw 1 at a time. You might add more later, depending upon what you're drawing, and that's fine, but you probably don't want to put all of them in at once unless you really know what you're doing. But because I'm going to be erasing in just a minute, if you can hold on just long enough to get to the next step, then I think we'll be okay. So, whichever box you're doing, the next step is to decide how wide and how long you want your box to be, and then to draw that vertical line. Same as our 2-point perspective practice boxes. Okay, they don't have to be the same. They do need to both be vertical. So be sure that you're lining up your ruler. Okay, now in order to make this a little less confusing, I'm going to go ahead and erase our extra lines, which normally we don't do until the end. But as we're done with them, we're going to go ahead and do that now. So any extra line after this edge, you're going to erase. Leave the horizon line. We still need that. So you're just going to erase these extra ones on the side. So let's forget these momentarily. This box, if your box crosses the horizon, the last thing you have to do is erase the horizon line inside of your box, because we can't see through it. So when something overlaps, you know, we can't see behind it. So that's it. This box is done. Okay? From where you're standing, you can't see the top or the bottom of this box, so you don't have to draw it. Now these two, we're still missing a side, so we are going to finish drawing those in. That's where this crisscrossing comes. Okay, so this bottom point I'm going to draw over here. This bottom point, I'm going to line it up over here. I'm not going to draw it the whole way, because if it's the second line I draw, as soon as I cross this first one, I know I can stop. So that's going to save me a little bit of erasing. It's going to save me a little bit of time. And it's going to kind of save my picture, because otherwise I would have to erase through other things. Okay, so I'm lining it up. I'm just going to draw till I hit that side. There's the bottom of my box. Erase the extra line and I'm done. And the same thing down here. This one's going to go here. I'm going to draw that. This point's going to go across the page. So I'm going to line it up, but I'm only going to draw it until it hits the line I just drew. Okay, that's all the further I need to draw it. There we are. So there's our three options for boxes, whether they're in the sky, they're in the ground, or if they're both. So from here, you know, depending on what you do with your box, change it into whatever you want it to be. Is it, you know, is it a box of food? Is it a battery? Is it, I don't know, use your imagination. What is your surrealistic image? If you want it to be a building still, okay? The rules for drawing windows and doors are just the same as they were for the pre-Columbian picture. So just like with our one-point perspective, your doors are going to be vertical lines on the sides. The top of the door is going to go to the vanishing point on the side that it is on. So just like our one-point perspective, it's just the same. Same thing with windows. Okay? The sides of the windows are going to be vertical lines. The top and the bottom of the window are going to go to the one vanishing point on the side that they are. Okay? And then if I was drawing something on this side, it's going to go to this vanishing point. But again, nice vertical lines for the sides. Top and the bottom go to the vanishing point on the side of the paper that they are on. The side that they face. Now, if you want to draw a peak on your roof, okay, to do that, I'm going to measure how long the side that I want to draw the peak on is. This is about 2 inches. So I'm going to put a little dot in the center, 1 inch. Line my ruler up vertically, and then from that spot I'm going to go straight up however tall I want the peak of my roof to be. When I have that, I'm connecting that dot to the sides of my building. Now to draw the roof, I'm connecting the top with the vanishing point in the direction that the roof is going to go. Okay, and again, I'm going to save myself a little time. I'm not going to draw it all the way to the vanishing point. To draw the back side of the roof, I'm going to look at this line and draw a perpendicular line. So a line at the same angle. And you're going to just have to judge that as best as you can. There's not really a good method for that unless you have a ruler that's exactly the width of, you know, the roof that you ended up making. So there's your house. Ding, done. Same thing for these boxes. If you wanted doors or windows, this side of the box, you're going to use this vanishing point. This side of your box, you're going to use that vanishing point. If you're writing something on the side, okay, think about when we did our rows of things. You had to draw the top and the bottom of the object so that everything stayed inside of it. That's what you would do for words too. So if I'm going to do a box of Oreos, okay, then I'm writing inside of that box. The trick when you go to write things is that you have to keep it straight up and down. You're tempted to write as if these lines are horizontal, but they're not. So you have to keep the letters at an angle too. Okay, and then I could erase the top and the bottom of that. So hopefully that helps you a little bit more with how to turn your boxes into something. If this is a box and let's say it's divided at the top, you know, there's my crease. Maybe it's taped. So I would have 2 rows, but they're going to go that way. And if I draw anything on this side, it's going to use this vanishing point. So hopefully that helps a little bit. You know, ask me questions if you have them. And that's it.